Welcome to Dynamite Delight.
And welcome to the main event reset. Sorry about adjusting my camera.
Exposure was a little off, but the main event reset. That's what it felt like in Chicago. That's just me. I said it. I don't know about anybody else, but this is how I feel about it. Let's go. First thing, I'm not talking about the beginning, I'm talking about everything else. We got Bryan Danielson versus Jake Hager. Now, we got a pure pro wrestler versus a pure amateur, MMA wrestler. We know that Bryan Danielson can wrestle his ass off. We know Jake Hager can, to a certain extent, wrestle his ass off. And we stuck them both together. Alright match. Wasn't bad. But in the end, we did get Bryan Danielson winning, which I was not surprised. The JAS comes out to beat his ass up. The Blackpool Combat Club comes to beat their asses up. We get a bell-bottomed
Chris Jericho come down
from commentary. And before we even had that, we had a Daniel Garcia, before this even started, just after the beginning of the show where we talk about Moxley, I'll talk about that later. He says, I pledge myself to the Jericho Appreciation Society and you, and I apologize. This is what we get. Now, was it bad? No, but it was very predictable. I knew once I saw the bell-bottomed Chris Jericho coming down, that I'm about to say Sammy Guevara, that Daniel Garcia was coming out. I think the reason I'm botching here is that it would have been better for me personally, really, for me, and I don't know about anybody else, that if he came to the ring, no chair, he comes to the mic, and he doesn't attack a Bryan Danielson. He walks up to him into the ring and says, you know what? And they didn't do the segment in the back where he said, you better watch your back with Garcia. He says, you know what? I had to come down here because I easily could have sent my boys out here to whoop your ass. But I didn't want that because I am going to be the Lionheart. You want the Lionheart? I'm going to give you the Lionheart. Flat out. But I'm in the ring facing you. I thought I'd at least do that. You said something about Stu and Brent. I take that very personally. So when we get in that ring, flat out, I'm going to show you what the true Lionheart is. It don't matter how old I am still the Lionheart. And he puts the mic down and walks away. That's what I would have liked. But what did we get? We get Chris Jericho almost trying to take the head off of a Bryan Danielson. You see Garcia grabbing and said, you don't need it, because that's what he said in the back. I can't wait to see this because I know you don't need no tricks. You can just take him out. You are the best. That's what he says. And he's trying to stop him. And yes, it goes along with story that shows that Garcia will, and I repeat, will turn face eventually. It's obvious that it's going down that road. Will he be with Bryan Danielson? That's the question. Not the Blackpool Combat Club, just Bryan Danielson. Because I don't think Garcia is joining the Blackpool Combat Club. I believe he's going to basically work with Bryan Danielson separate from the club. And that he's going to train him. And the club is going to watch the training, show him respect, but they're not letting him in. That's just me. Tell me below what you guys think. Now, a match that I'm like, really? Is this former WWE?
because if I was right, I think it was almost 6 to 7 minutes. I think 6.
6, I think. I think 6. It might have been shorter than that. We had a tag team of the 4 women that are going to be in the interim match at All Out. Why did you do it? Why? It wasn't necessary. I do not believe it was necessary. I'm just saying it wasn't needed. We got Sheeta and we got Storm. We got Hager and we got Britt Baker. Wouldn't it have been better to show a few new women? What happened to Leia Hirsch? Is she still in the roster? Guys, tell me. I don't know. What happened to Kiera Hogan? Aren't we supposed to be bringing in more women to really make this mean something in the division. What happened to Ruby Soho? Why are they on dark and dark elevation? What is going on with the women's division? I have been saying this for months. And all I heard for months before this, and anybody can remember what I said this, when it came to JD, when it came to his partner, what is it, Jesse, when it came to Solomonster, I believe to a certain extent, and when it came to just Alex, they said, you gotta be patient. Why are you being so crazy? Why don't you be calm? Well, guess what? Now they're talking like me now. I knew that the booking was wrong because it started with the Japanese wrestlers and now it's ended with the regular American and European wrestlers. It is now the same thing, and it almost mirrors how WWE used to be with Vince.
Tell me I'm wrong.
That match indicated there was no reason to do a tag match going into All Out. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't. You could have done a promo segment in the back. You could have done something special where there could have been maybe a message from Thunder Rosa. She doesn't have to be there. We know, and I there was something I need to say in the beginning of this, but I'll say it in a minute. But we could have had a special message from Thunder Rosa. She could have easily done she doesn't have to do, she could have done Discord or Skype and said to all the women, hey, I know you can pull it off. I know you're going to kill it. I can't be there because I'm legitimately hurt. It hurts me. Something to make Thunder Rosa mean something. And I heard what JD said earlier, talking about how angry he is that Thunder Rosa is getting almost no time, but Britt Baker got the time, Jamie Hager got the time, and Reba's gotten the time, and when it comes to Jade Cargill, she's getting time. But Thunder Rosa's got none. Hell, even Nia Rose at one point was getting more time than Thunder Rosa. So, wouldn't it have been good to have the current champ say something at home when she's in bed? She doesn't have to even be seen. Just a voice. That's just me, guys, comment below. It doesn't matter who won the match. Actually, it does. It's a face to say won. But it doesn't matter because in 4 days, we're going to have this match for the interim women's champion. And what happened to Jade Cargill? Now, of course, she's going to be on Rampage, but isn't this kind of important? Wouldn't it have been good for Jade to be seen, or maybe an Athena? But that's just me. Yes, they're going to do something there, but it would have been nice to have a sighting. I'm just saying. Now, next, FTR and Wardlow destroy 3 jobbers. One of them was called Red Jones. I can't remember the other 2. And the crowd were not happy about it. Guys, there's nothing wrong with doing a enhancement squash match. No problem with it. But in this situation, where we barely seen FTR, and we're not too fond of Wardlow at certain points, because the booking of Wardlow was like this when he gained the title, and it's gone like this. FTR is still here, but Wardlow is like here. We needed more. Maybe it would have been better for Wardlow to have a match by himself than FTR and Wardlow. It wasn't necessary for FTR to be in a match. They could have been at ringside. They could have done a segment with him in the back, an interview, and I think that would have been more effective for FTR. This should have been Wardlow's moment because Wardlow looked weak. What have we done with Wardlow? What happened to replace Scorpio Sky to go after the TNT title? Because,
as we know, Scorpio's out because of injury.
He is out. So tell me, what are we doing? The booking here is scatterbrained to a certain extent. It's not 100% garbage, but it's scatterbrained a little bit. Let's move on. The Fatal 4-Way, what does it lead to?
I didn't hear them say that it could have been for the TNT title.
After All Out. Because yes, we're getting the Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal. But wouldn't it have been nice to set up something going after this? Going to the next Dynamite, where this could have been a Fatal 4-Way for a shot at the TNT champion. Because he doesn't have any challenges right now. He's not doing anything right now. Wouldn't it have been good to have Dante Martin or Roosh or Ray Phoenix or even Wheeler Yuta to have that shot? Nope.
What the hell did we get?
What the hell we get? I'm getting angry. nothing but a good match where Dante Martin did a nice spot with Rey Fenix. Now, like I always say, I like a well-balanced match. Doesn't mean I don't like high-flying once in a while, but I like good mat base, good psychology, and good physicality. And that could also have a little high-flying in it, as long as it's balanced well. Now, the match was okay, and Wheeler Yuta won, but what does it really give Wheeler Yuta? I don't remember them saying that this is for the ROH title going against Claudio Castagnoli. It's not to go after the TV title of a Samoa Joe, which we didn't see at all. This isn't going to be a title match for the current TNT champion. So what did we get here? We just got a fatal 4-way from 3 luchadors and one who was not. And what's 3 luchadors? Yes. No. Well, basically we got 2 luchadors and one that basically could be easy luchador in a Dante Martin, and a Wheeler Yuta who's really not a luchador type of style of wrestling, which is high flying. He's not. He's more like submission, ground and pound, and he can do some aerial, but he's not like a high flyer luchador. But Dante Martin is, Rey Fenix is, and Rush is. Pretty much. And the only thing that's missing with Dante Martin is having a Spanish name or some special name that comes from Japan that has been altered to a Mexican or Spanish type of name. I'm just saying. That's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm just saying. Now, final match. We get a trios match which goes for the final spot for the finals. And that is the Elite, which is basically the Bucks and Kenny Omega, versus the United Empire with what is the guy's name? Will Ospreay. I only see him a little bit, so it's hard to remember his name. And Aussie Open. I do remember them, and there's something about Aussie Open I like. I don't know what it is, but Aussie Open is interesting to me. And I wish we would see more of them either in AEW or Impact Wrestling. I don't know if they go to MLW. I can't say that, but you get my point. It was a very good match. You see Will Ospreay having a major beef with Kenny Omega. And the opening was with Kenny Omega belittling a Will Ospreay, saying that he had more stuff than him. I'll tell you this, it was good. I was fine with it. In the end, Kenny Omega did a V-trigger on one of Aussie Open and won the match. Now, you can still see Kenny is still heavily taped, and he even has some circles on his back where they do the cups to be able to do therapy. That's actually kind of expensive. I've actually thought of doing that myself along with acupuncture. I'm actually kind of scared of needles, but not. I mean, I can get a needle, get blood drawn or given a shot, but I've never actually had acupuncture. I've actually been considering it to try and help my back and my hip, but you can see it on his back. So pretty much they're not going up against either Best Friends or Dark Order, who now we got 10 whose knees messed up, and Evil Uno was supposed to take over for that. But then you see a Andrade El Idolo, about to see him almost. Andrade El Idolo try and pay him off. He says no, and then Evil Uno. I don't know how to feel about this. You use Andrade to set up a Adam Page to join Silver and Reynolds. What, couldn't you just do it normally? Wouldn't it have been easier for him to join? I'm just saying. Anyway, that is generally all the matches that was on the show. Now let's get to all the other stuff. Now before I get, and I don't know if I'm putting any images in this. I think I will. But this is something I need to show. I was going to say this earlier, but I kind of forgot because I went on a tangent a little bit.
Your boy got a little pissed. I'm sorry.
I got pissed. Your boy got pissed. And I normally don't say your boy, but in this case, I did get pissed. But I should put in my face. It's right here. I was looking for, no, not here. Let me explain it first. I was looking to add something to my gut report because of what's been going on. Hearing that HBK supposedly now is control of the European. We still don't know how NXT UK is working. Even though the person who told me that JD said that HBK is now going to be the head booker of UK does not mean that's going to be in NXT UK. it may be now turned into NXT Europe, because they have been talking about changing it, supposedly. That's what I've heard, from NXT UK to NXT Europe. I'm not saying it's true. That's what I heard. So I was looking about, what else can I say? Talking about what has been going on in AEW and what's been going on in WWE. I thought maybe I should talk about looking at a video, like an old documentary. And I decided to look at Mark Henry. And I forgot, because WWE's produced a lot of documentaries, and one of them is Mark Henry. And what you're about to see in my face is on the documentary. Have you ever heard
of foreshadowing?
Now you see him in my face. What do you see? This is when he was going into the Arnold Classic. He had to first go through at least the World Championship of Texas, then the Nationals for weightlifting, which he beat that too, and then he qualified for the Arnold Classic Strongman. And as you saw my face, and he should be right here, the boy's wearing a Jacksonville Jaguars shirt. That was back in 2001 to 2. I think it was 2002 when they did Arnold Classic, as he was preparing for it. Foreshadowing anybody? I didn't remember that he was wearing that shirt. And now look, he works on Rampage, sometimes on Dynamite, but mainly Rampage, Elevation, and Dark. He does whatever they need him to do, and he's probably happy. But that's foreshadowing right there. Go figure that he would be working for a Tony Khan and a Jacksonville Jaguars owner. Well, at least one of them. His father owns the Jaguars, but you know what I mean. Now, let's go through most of this. I didn't say anything about Morrissey dealing with Hathaway. Now, I'm not going to. Hathaway has been going after a lot of people. He's gone after Ethan Page. He's gone after Morrissey. He's gone after the young guns, the ass boys. Who else did he go after? Lee Moriarty. And he still has the baddies. Supposedly what's left of Jade Cargill with Kiera Hogan, where they're not doing anything, and Gracie, or Laura Gray. I believe her name is Laura Gray. He hasn't done anything with them, but he's getting all these people. The question is going to be, what is he going to do with it? And yes, when Tony Giovanni tried the question, he said, I ain't telling you a damn thing, and he's ready to strangle him. I'm just leaving it at that when it comes to Morrissey, because yes, Morrissey destroyed the wingmen, but still, that need to be talked about. Next, we got, what was that next part? Kip Sabian, and his vid pack dealing with was worried about this. I even said it myself. When they give a pack that All Atlantic title, will he be allowed to go and face people that are also from not just Europe, Japan, Mexico, and Canada? Will there be Americans dealing with it? What have we been getting? European wrestlers. As far as I know, it's still been European wrestlers and Asian wrestlers, Japanese wrestlers, and maybe a couple of Mexican wrestlers. What are the American wrestlers? The All Atlantic should cover everyone. What? Americans are not allowed? Is it that low of a tier? That title reminds me of the European title that the WWE used. And they didn't do shit with it. That pisses me off. He spoke well. Sabian spoke well, but the question is, how is it going to end at All Out? I'm just saying. And it's only on the kickoff show. Now, we also had a Miro moment when he was dealing with Darby Allin, when he was dealing with Sting. He is not interested in having help by his side, but he is willing to take it because he knows he's having a problem. Breathe. What has the House of Black done? Brody King, Malachi Black. You bring in guys. You got Hart, and you got and you got Malachi Black, along with Buddy. I'm forgetting their names. That's how angry I am. the House of Black could have been something interesting. Hell, if it was that important, you could have merged the House of Black and the Dark Order together, and they could have done something. You could have taken maybe Evil Uno into the Dark Order, of the Dark Order, and joined them to Malachi Black's House of Black. Something that could have taken two rival groups that are supposed to be dark and do something with, make them one, or take some of them and make them like that. You could have done something, and you've done nothing with them. You've barely done anything with the Dark Order, and Malachi Black's group has not won any titles. They've acted menacing, but they've been mainly jobbing. They haven't gained anything. Hell, wasn't there supposed to be some type of thing with Sting? And they haven't done that either. I'm just saying. Finally, if I'm forgetting anything, I'm sorry. It is time to talk about the reset of the main event. We open with Moxley. I think I will put him in my face if I haven't put the image already. He talks about how in Chicago he understood. He said, I understand about your guy. You love Punk, but look, he lost to me. The boy couldn't hack it. He got scared of me. And instead of just not even doing the match, he comes up with a lame excuse and he gets his ass whooped. He ran scared and he got his ass whooped. And I make it very clear, and he makes it very interesting. I didn't catch the shot of, if I can catch it before I edit this, I will get the contract and I'll put it in my face. But if I don't, sorry. But he makes it clear. I got an open challenge. All out. Whoever wants me, let's go. I don't care who you are. I will whoop your ass. I will destroy you. I am not like anybody else you've ever met. I don't care. I am the fire-breathing dragon of this damn business. And no one is better than me. I felt that was very well done. It wasn't very lengthy and long. And we don't normally get segments very long. But lately, you gotta admit, we have been getting segments in the beginning of the show. Lately. Now, they have been leading to the pay-per-views, which is good. But we have been getting more segments in the beginning of the show lately. They have to do the setup. So this is done. Later, we get CM Punk coming out. Well, sorry, I take that back. First, before CM Punk comes out, Ace Steels, who's supposed to be an old friend and mentor of CM Punk, comes out, grabs the contract, and walks out. Everyone wondering what's going on. Then we get CM Punk later coming out, talking about what happened to his foot. That he, in my case, because I actually dropped a laptop on my right foot by accident because I was being careless. Hopefully, I don't think I broke my foot. Because I can't walk on it, the pain comes and goes. If it's constant pain, that's something different. But it comes and goes for me personally. But when it comes down to it, guys, he says, I broke my foot, I got 3 pieces in it. No, he said first, when I broke my foot, my doctor told me, you made a big mistake getting to the ring because you had a broken foot and then you pulverized it. So now he has 3 plates in his foot and 16 screws. And he thought he was ready 100%. But 100% may not be enough. He didn't come back for the wrestling business, not just because he loved it. He knows people in the business, they don't love you. But the fans love you, and I came back for them. And I'm doing this for you, but it may not be enough. And then Steels comes out, and he faces down CM Punk. I believe I got a shot of him in my face. And he makes it very clear, what are you doing? This is what we talked about in the back. You're not done yet. This is not you. I trained you. I knew. Even though my career was a good one, I knew yours was going to be better than mine. I knew you were going to be one of the best. And I've been proud of you. We are not just friends. We have friends in the business. We've always had friends in the business. But me and you, we're more than just friends. We are family. We are family. And he smacks the living taste out of his mouth and said, what the fuck are you doing? And they didn't bleep.
I'm surprised. They probably got in trouble for this.
You know the FCC does not like cursing on air. That means they had to pay at least $10,000 to $20,000 for allowing cursing to be allowed on a network. It's legal. anytime you do a major curse and you don't bleep it, that's between $10,000 to $20,000 fine, unless they raise it to $30,000 or more. But it's between $10,000 to $20,000. And he said, "What the fuck you doing?" They did not bleep it. They left it in. Now, mind you, when they replayed on YouTube, they may bleep it. They might bleep it. Or if you're the type of person who is able to get it on the app, because there's also the possibility if you saw it on the app, on normal TV, it would be bleeped. So for me, I was looking on the app. So my guess is maybe they bleeped it on TV. I won't know until I check on YouTube, because then they will bleep it. For me, I saw it in the app. But pretty much he cursed his ass off. Everyone was kind of surprised he cursed. He smacked him and said, "You are going to All Out. You are going to face him, and you will do what is necessary. You will not stop. You are from Chicago. You are blood. Your blood does not just run, it runs Chicago blood." And after that, he got so hyped and psyched, he grabbed it. He grabbed the mic. He ran into the crowd, and he said, "Chicago, I am not going to end this way. This is not going to happen. I'm going to do this. I will be at All Out. I will win, and I will not stop. He cannot stop me. There's no one to stop him. He's not going to stop me. He ain't going to kill me." In the end, he signs it. He holds it up in the air. Now, that might actually be my thumbnail if I got it. But here's the thing that I felt was dumb. Once that happened, a little later, Moxley comes out, which I think was not necessary for him to come back out and reiterate what he said. It wasn't necessary. It was not necessary to come back and state the very same thing he said before about anyone, or even CM Punk. It would have been better if he faced him face to face. No hitting, no fighting. He sees him. He walks up to him and says, "You really want this? You'll get it." And that would have been the end of it. That would have been a better moment than this. This was dumb. I don't know about anyone else. Maybe they liked it. Maybe they liked that Moxley came back out. I felt that was a waste of time. When this comes down to, guys, for me personally, this was a reset. They did this on purpose. It's obvious. We all knew they were going to probably set something up once we saw CM Punk lose. But this way, most people would think this was dumb. Other people would think it was done very well. I'm like, yes, it was done well enough that it will work. It made the Chicago proud. The thing that gets me, the Chicago crowd was hyped for it, and it helped the show. But when Moxley came out, that messed it up for me personally. It was not necessary to come out twice to try and reiterate what he said. What could have been better, they could have faced each other in the back, not hit one another, go nose to nose and says, "You really want me again?" And he says, "Yeah, I'll be waiting." And that would have been more effective than this. I'm just saying, it's a reset. Does it mean it'll work? I have no clue. Because this will be in Chicago. Hopefully it's going to work well. Hopefully CM Punk is perfectly healthy, which he probably is. But it better work this time, because you just set something up which shouldn't have happened. They should have never did this match before All Out. But you did the match. You let pretty much Moxley basically unify the titles. And now you're letting a second shot for CM Punk happen in the hopes of giving him more hype, more interest. It may not work. If that match does not come out stellar, this may fall on its damn face. I heard I'm very thankful that people liked my NWA 74 review. The second night, they really liked it. The first one, it was okay for them. The second one, they really did like, and it was over 300 views, so I thank you. But honestly, people did not like the Tyrus and the Trevor Murdoch because they didn't like Tyrus. This could end the same way if that match does not go stellar, where they will not like what CM Punk and Moxley did. So, this is just me. And I hope you enjoyed this Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. Peace.